ITESO y es un gusto recibirlos a todos ustedes el día de hoy aquí. Desde el Departamento del Hábitat y Desarrollo Urbano y desde los posgrados de Sustentabilidad, les agradecemos su presencia en este auditorio para dar inicio al segundo Congreso Internacional sobre Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats. Este Congreso Internacional se realiza en el marco de los festejos por los 60 años del ITESO y hemos preparado 3 jornadas de actividades para celebrarlo con ustedes. La temática central de este Congreso busca que en conjunto podamos reflexionar sobre innovación tecnológica y creatividad social en la construcción de ciudades resilientes. Para ello se busca en este espacio recuperar e intercambiar experiencias y conocimientos de nuestros conferencistas magistrales, de nuestros ponentes, talleristas y a través de las presentaciones de carteles que podrán ver a ambos costados del auditorio. Un agradecimiento especial a nuestros conferencistas magistrales, quienes nos acompañan el día de hoy y que provienen de distintos países como Tailandia, España, Portugal, Costa Rica, Chile y México. Bienvenidos a Guadalajara, bienvenidos al ITESO, esta es su casa. Para comenzar este evento, queremos compartir con ustedes una breve presentación sobre las innovaciones en las que estaremos trabajando durante nuestro congreso. Vamos a ver un pequeño video. Bueno, un poco lo que les vamos a presentar mientras este video se muestra. Vamos a mostrarles una aplicación que vamos a estar utilizando a lo largo del Congreso. Una de las cuestiones que buscamos desde los posgrados de sustentabilidad, desde el ITESO como línea, es tratar de revertir el consumo y la generación de residuos. Para ello, en este Congreso hemos evitado en la medida de lo posible generar impresiones, generar residuos y estamos trabajando en una plataforma digital que nos hará o nos facilitará un poco el acceso a la información sin necesidad de tener carteles y programas y papeles impresos sobre la información del Congreso. Asimismo, estaremos presentando un video que nos mostrará la estrategia que se está desarrollando durante este Congreso como un primer ejercicio para poder medir el impacto que genera un evento como estos en la huella de carbono. Vamos a medir a partir de una herramienta que se diseñó específicamente para este Congreso, vamos a medir cómo estamos impactando y qué tipo de huella dejamos a partir de este Congreso después de los 3 días de celebración y cómo vamos a reflexionar un poco en cómo podemos revertir el impacto que generamos en nuestra vida cotidiana en el medio ambiente. Vamos a comenzar entonces para ver este primer video en donde le pedimos su atención. Gracias.
Durante el Congreso trabajaremos con 3 grandes innovaciones para reducir el impacto del evento en nuestro planeta. Uno es evitar al máximo las impresiones, el segundo es medir la huella causada por este evento masivo y el tercero es el uso de la tecnología como una opción sustentable para reducir las emisiones de CO2. Para ello debes descargar la aplicación Givent desde la App Store para el sistema operativo que requiera tu equipo móvil. Una vez dentro podrás acceder a las actividades del Congreso para conocer todo sobre el programa, revisa el programa de actividades y sus detalles, genera tu propia agenda de actividades favoritas, accede a contenido exclusivo, descarga material y accede a contenido multimedia. Redes sociales. Sigue las publicaciones con el hashtag oficial en las principales redes sociales. Hashtag Congreso Sustentabilidad ITESO. Notas. Desde la aplicación podrás tomar notas de las conferencias y ponencias. Networking. Intercambia mensajes y organiza reuniones con otros participantes. Envía tu tarjeta virtual de contacto. y también recibirás notificaciones sobre las actividades del Congreso. Úsala y sé parte del cambio.
Bueno, invitamos a todos ustedes a descargar la aplicación que contribuye en gran medida a uno de los objetivos que nos hemos planteado, que es precisamente el de reducir la huella de carbono que nuestro Congreso genera. El acceso a Internet es libre, basta entrar a la página del ITESO, se les va a abrir una pantalla emergente en donde les permitirá nada más validar la conexión y el acceso al Internet es libre. Asimismo, esto nos permitirá medir el impacto de este evento y nuestra presencia que el día de hoy genera en el planeta. Entonces, para conocer sobre este ejercicio que estaremos realizando estos 3 días de medir el impacto de la huella de carbono y que nos involucra a todos los aquí presentes, me permito mostrarles este otro material que nos aclarará y nos explicará con más detalle este ejercicio que realizaremos en conjunto.
Cada uno de nosotros genera un impacto en el planeta según el consumo y tipo de hábitos que realicemos día a día, y es importante que conozcas el tipo de huella que dejarás a las próximas generaciones. Por eso te invitamos a participar y a sumarte al esfuerzo que estaremos realizando para la reducción de la huella ecológica generada a lo largo del segundo Congreso Internacional sobre Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats. Realizaremos una serie de mediciones con el fin de determinar, al cierre del Congreso, la huella de carbono asociada, que es la métrica que sirve para informar acerca de la cantidad de gases de efecto invernadero que fueron liberadas a la atmósfera como consecuencia de las actividades llevadas a cabo en un evento específico. En esta ocasión, un equipo de administrativos, académicos y estudiantes serán los encargados de realizar la medición, evaluando los siguientes indicadores: movilidad, medios de transporte utilizados por los asistentes; energía, consumo energético de diversos equipos en cada actividad; agua, uso y tratamiento de recursos hídricos utilizados; residuos, volumen de residuos generados así como su respectivo tratamiento; compras, adquisición de productos y contratación de servicios externos; infraestructura, equipamiento de uso temporal o permanente adquirido para el evento. Involúcrate activamente en la mitigación de la huella de carbono del Congreso, siguiendo estas sugerencias. Transporte compartido. Si viajas solo en vehículo particular, invita a otros asistentes del Congreso de ida y vuelta al ITESO. Transporte gratuito. Transporte gratuito por parte del ITESO. Ofrece 2 servicios de transporte a Plaza Las Fuentes y a la estación del tren ligero de Periférico Sur. Infórmate acerca de los horarios de las rutas. Gasto innecesario de energía. No excedas la carga de tus equipos electrónicos durante el Congreso. No compres productos desechables. Trae tu propia botella de agua. Agradecemos tu participación en el Congreso y tu apoyo para hacer de este evento un espacio con una menor huella ecológica.
Como ven, este ejercicio implica que todos nos involucremos, por lo que agradecemos nos apoyen en proporcionar la información solicitada por parte del equipo que se encarga de hacer esta medición de la huella de carbono, así como en adoptar algunas de las sugerencias para minimizar el impacto en nuestro Congreso. Sin duda será un gran ejercicio y lo lograremos con ayuda de ustedes. Sin más que decir, es momento de comenzar la jornada de actividades con nuestra primera conferencia magistral. Quiero comenzar presentando a Víctor Manuel Alves Pereira, a quien invito a pasar, a ocupar su lugar. Gracias, Víctor. Por favor, si gustas pasar. Vítor Manuel Alves Pereira es nuestro ponente que nos acompaña de Portugal. Él es periodista y es experto en comunicación, estratega creativo y visionario y pensador profundo. Cofundador de Zoom Global Smart Cities Association, una plataforma agnóstica con corazón y alma para el futuro. Cofundador de Smart Cities Portugal Cluster. Es conferencista internacional y colaborador, presidente y coordinador de numerosos eventos en todo el mundo y plataformas especializadas de contenido, revistas, portales, blogs, etc. Actualmente está trabajando con ciudades, universidades y corporaciones privadas para desarrollar hojas de ruta y estrategias para Smart Cities, Smart Regions, Smart Tourism y es ganador de The People's Choice Award, primera edición 2018, una iniciativa de Smart to Future, evento global Smart Cities de Inglaterra. La conferencia que nos presentará será en inglés, sin traducción simultánea y se titula Building Smart and Sustainable Cities, The Smart Approach. Welcome, Víctor. Bienvenido, Víctor. Gracias por estar aquí y le damos la palabra para su presentación magistral. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Thank you all. Can you hear me well? Okay, since ever, I'm trying to understand where is my habitat. What is my natural habitat? Definitely, I like this one. Natural, nature, non-artificial. Like when we talk about intelligence, now everyone talks about artificial intelligence. And no one speaks about natural intelligence, which is something that we need to change a little bit. Okay, let's try to do something different because I don't have the clicking to change the slides. So if something goes wrong, it is my fault because I didn't prepare well the team. The team is doing great, so let's try to do the best possible. So as I told you, I'm trying to understand where is my natural habitat since ever. So natural for me is think about things that I live together daily in the daily basis, like normal things related with mobility, energy, sustainability, and also communication and also social relations between everyone. But since I was in Portugal, I'm living in a different habitat, which is like I'm going to show you in the next slides, northeast region of Portugal. That's what I meant when I'm not very comfortable with this habitat because they dress like that. Not every day, of course, but in some occasions we have the authentic mask parties. We have these fires, big fires in the winter parties. It's like the ritual we are trying to bring since our ancient culture, and then we try to realize how things could be so important for us if we look at them in a perspective of for the future. So we have this magnificent view, lookouts. We have all the nature basically is surrounded by nature. All that area has 4 natural parks, international protected natural areas. So one of them is Rio Douro, from where the Porto wine is made of. All these areas full of nature, protected species, and of course we will have a lot of things to do, like the boat, like enjoy the river, enjoy the sunshine, and enjoy the cultural festivals also. This is a warrior dance. It doesn't look like, but actually they use the sticks and they dress like ladies because in that old time, ladies were big fighters, so the enemies will scare about where are you going to do, meet these warriors, we should leave it. So there are many roads in this northeast region of Portugal that I'm connected with, especially these roads full of nature, full of green, full of what is our environmental protected and amazing habitat, especially for the wildlife we have, since the foxes, wolves, and also the other big species of for the hunting. This is the castle of Bragança, my city, my hometown, where I live until 2015. So basically it's like very old, very ancient, and very beautiful. We have mountain, we have lakes, we have rivers, we have nature, we have the perfect habitat. But for some reason, I believe that we all need also something else. We all need something else besides this, all of this. Shouldn't be like this, but we all need to go outside, check other cultures, understand other people, understand other cities, how the cities work, connect with other people around the world. So basically I never fit in to keep on this habitat, but in the meantime, I still miss it very much. So this is the river I was talking, marvelous landscape. I'll show you what we normally bring to the people who visit us. We enjoy good wine or good red wine or white wine. This is from our region, from the Northeast. It's a prize wine. So basically, why I'm talking about wine in a conference about related with sustainability and habitats and smart cities or smart culture or whatever, is because I didn't took my breakfast. So this is our lunch actually, not our breakfast. But I'm sorry if there's someone vegetarian in the room. We have some veggies also. But basically, we eat a lot of nice meat. So I created what is called Smart Experiences in 2014, and we created a big event that connected smart tourism with smart cities. This is a very small town, small city, 30,000 inhabitants, which is something like a neighborhood in Guadalajara, maybe. I don't know. I know for sure it's a neighborhood, like a building in China, but we created smart experiences for this event, connecting a lot of offers and a lot of things that we are able to provide to someone who's visiting us, but keeping the authentic and promoting what is the value, genuine, and what is our DNA culture in that region. This is the Templar Knights and Maltese warriors we had since ancient times also. We created an experience we can enjoy this kind of route. So it's not a massive experience. It has to be small groups that are able to pay for it, or at least pay the right value for it. We were discussing this in the morning with another speaker, keynote speaker here, and it's very, very important that we understand what kind of numbers we need to speak when we are talking about sustainability and when we are talking about success of tourism destinations. And I show you this picture, very, very humble picture for you, you may say. I know that I know Mexico for my honeymoon in 1999, and I experienced with this Mayan culture in Cancun. Imagine that. I went to Cancun for my honeymoon. A lot of people is going also. But it was amazing that I experienced when I go to I choose Cancun because it's not an island, it's not a beach, it's not only the sunset, it's not only the margaritas, it's not only what we all have in mind that when we think about a honeymoon. I choose because I want to experience the natural culture, and I was always a big fan of the Mayan culture. So I choose the Yucatan Peninsula to connect with that culture. And then I understand that all the people around the world have their own humble people, but actually this is the biggest, richest, the richest experience we can have is connect with them, understand what is their purpose in life, and understand sometimes they are very happy around the firewood and eating like smoked sausage or ham or something, or baking their own bread, and tell us about life. So when we come here and I'm trying to be warm and friendly, I'm very, very, very happy to be in Guadalajara, and I was very, very happy to be in Braganza, the Northeast region I just showed to you. But then I feel, why can I not fit in this kind of habitats? Because this one I can fit, but sometimes, another slide, please. Sometimes I feel a little bit disappointed because that area once is building right now a McDonald's restaurant. So around the world, McDonald's are closing. Some big cities are closing McDonald's because they don't want this kind of business, massive business, very mainstream business, not sustainable business actually. We are talking about McDonald's, we can speak about other brands, you know, I don't need to name it because I don't want to get sued about it, but actually we have this big contradiction, which is that region has it all, but didn't have a McDonald's. Now they will have it. So my question is, when they have a McDonald's, what they are going to lose? Because they are going to win McDonald's. I'm afraid they are going to lose something. And that's something they are going to lose, may be very important. And that's something that I have to live with it, and probably try to inspire other people that most of the times we are searching for something we already have, and it's understandable that people search for things they don't have, and I perfectly understand that people from that region want a McDonald's, they want to experience it also. So I bring some unsustainable challenges, and that one will be one in the next years also. Let's see how it goes. Let's keep it there. I still hope, there's still hope for that region. I'm working with them very closely. We're having the 5th edition of Smart Travel event in the next December. And I'm really working, trying to work with some authorities to try to make them understand how can we work together, not only them, not only the city, but also all the stakeholders related with the tourism. So with this sustainable challenges, I bring the Smart Venice. Venice, everyone knows Venice. Everyone has been in Venice. I never been in Venice. Okay, I want to be there sometime in the future, but I know that a lot of people have been in Venice. In Venice, in 2010, 2012, started a project called a program for Smart City Venice. And basically it was something they tried to implement technology to control the water and the canals and control the flooding. You know, it's like Venice is underwater most of the time of the year. So it's all interesting to understand that they didn't create the Smart Venice. Smart Venice exists for a long time since it was built. This is how the houses are built in Venice. More or less the same process in Amsterdam also. So basically on the wooden sticks. And Venice, I'm not an architect, I'm not an urban planner, let me warn you. I just bring what is the image. I know there are a lot of academic and important people that can know much more about this than me. But I just bring this idea that we are talking about smart cities, Venice, like it's something new, and it's already there since ages. And I bring this part of the smart city Venice, because in the meantime, we are discussing the infrastructure, and we forgot that Venice, in the meantime, become a little bit unsustainable. Okay, a little bit, maybe I'm overreacting. It become pretty much unsustainable for the tourism sector. We have something in Venice right now is under fire, like, you know, not right now, but since some years ago, is becoming featured in like the bad examples for massive tourism, wild tourism, and so on. And next slide will show you what it is, the crowded canals in Venice. And right now it's like even people who go into the canals in the gondola, they are checking their phones and they are not even paying attention to the surroundings. And this is like very, very sad to see how a city brings so many to the world and then in the meantime become so bad example. Bringing some bad examples and some good examples. I think there's, this one is like a bullet list. It has 20 million visitors every year. 50% stay hosted in the city. The daily number of tourism is become almost the same, higher than the residents actually, which is around 50,000 inhabitants in Venice. It lost like 60% of the population in the last years. Cruise tourists spend too little in restaurants and other services, so they basically they have all included, and they don't go to the city, they don't bring money to the city. In population decline, because number of available jobs not connected with tourism was decaying, and also because the cost of life is too high, and because of tourism, food, transportation, housing, etc. I wrote this in 2014. So it's, now everyone is, every city I'm visiting, they are coming to this. So basically, it's like a disease. Something is spreading, and this is coming higher and higher and higher problem for the cities. And then I bring you the case. Let's see if we yeah, it's unsustainable, of course, because it works, but it works like a Disneyland. It works like Venice Land. They have that picture for kids and so on. So I bring you also Smart Barcelona, which is considered one of the smartest cities in the world, innovative cities in the world. Actually, it created the most important event for smart cities in the world. It's happening in November. It's the 8th edition. Gathers cities around the world discussing the new technologies, the new improvements to quality of life, sustainability, and so on. So basically, Barcelona is living very, very connected with the innovation, and it becomes the smartest city in the world. And all of these kind of gadgets were implemented in the city from the city administration, city council. It deployed like a Wi-Fi everywhere, bike sharing everywhere, this kind of text everywhere. I'm sorry for this picture, but in the meantime, was happening this. Barcelona, in the meantime, was considered the smartest city in the world, but there was a problem thriving, which is become very featured like a party city, and people start disliking this kind of activities here on this side. Let's see if this works. Yeah, this is a case that came featured in the media. A lot of people from what we call borrachera, tourism, and so on. So, and people will start being annoyed by this kind of attitudes, and they start protesting, and they changed the city government that implemented the smartest city in the world, lost elections for the new mayor in Barcelona. And the mayor started doing the other things. But in the meantime, I recover what was Barcelona in those years. Became famous not for the great artists of cultural offer, heritage, architecture. Of course, it was famous for this before. It's still famous for this, but the thriving tourism, type of tourism, was not related with this. It was related with other things. Even with millions invested in sensors, technology, big data, IoT, Wi-Fi, other projects, you name it, everything was there in Barcelona, except smart tourism, smart destination, except these kind of things that connected the tourists with the locals. So new city administration decided to regulate the wild tourism market, in the meantime, since 2015, when the previous mayor lost the election, controlling the hosts and offer from sharing economy platforms. Airbnb, in the meantime, like Uber, like worldwide, has become not so friendly for the cities. So more information and empowering local communities and neighborhoods, bringing citizens to the discussion. Basically what they did was sharing power with the locals. Something that, for example, one of the other cities that people name as being smart city is from Medellin. And they become sharing the power, empowering communities. They become more aware of what was the problems, were the real problems for that city, and how to solve them in the co-creation model. So basically, this was unsustainable for Barcelona, and right now they are changing a little bit, but can be even challenging, still challenging. Okay, I'll bring you the smart city Lisbon. It's the city I live since 2015, where we organize also a big international event every year. But this is actually a tram stop with a big queue of tourists is waiting for what it is, a small tram for at least 40 people or 50 people, and they wait like 1 hour at the sun, and I don't know why they do it. I'm always, hey, you should walk like 100 meters and you catch the tram in the other area, and you don't have to wait here. But actually, this experience has become a tourist experience. Not the tram, but waiting for the tram. This is like, could be a business model also. Don't wait for the tram. And we assured you will have a nice experience with some cool water and some ice cream, and so could be some business model. Yeah, let's think about it. This is Bairro Alto, also a traditional neighborhood in Lisbon. Why I bring these pictures? Because they sound like Barcelona also. All these kind of cities are becoming very famous for the parties, and that's how it starts. The tourism gets cheaper, the tourism offer gets cheaper, the trips gets cheaper, the hotels get cheaper. So people start moving around and choosing what is the best choice for them to have fun, but also have experiences. I believe that we are only working with the have fun part and forgetting what can be also good for the cities, to try to bring mixed type of tourists to understand the city, not only for the fun part, but also for the cultural, heritage, natural, and so on. So another slide next. I bring, could be Lisbon. We have a bridge like this, but it's not. It's San Francisco. It's like my remote control is still there. So smart San Francisco. It's the smartest city in the world, supposed to. It's the house of most of everything we know was born there, except Amazon was born in Seattle, Microsoft, but everything is there. It doesn't matter if they are born somewhere else. Everything we consider innovation and important for the new era, new age of internet, has Silicon Valley as their mecca. That's why everyone wants to create a Silicon Valley alternative, not successful. But actually we need an alternative for Silicon Valley, and we are going to understand why. Because since 2015, again, 16, this has become to be very normal to happen in San Francisco. We are watching increasing number of homeless people with jobs, which is something that we never watched before. And they are living in settlements around the city area, and they are living like this, in the cars, in the caravans, in the wherever they can, in tents. And after that, they become a little bit complicated to live, because like families earning this kind of money, they qualify as low income for the California's Bay Area. So this is something very, very problematic in the cities right now, in the smartest city in the world. Remember, it's like San Francisco, Silicon Valley. And London, finally, the worst cases I bring. London is the biggest city in the world, maybe one of the biggest city in Europe, definitely. It is the capital, financial capital of the world. So basically, London has become an asset safe deposit for wealthy systems and wealthy families and so on. This reminds me something not related with the actual mayor, but I like this picture for the dark side of city like London and the empty side of the city like London. The city itself, like the financial district, is becoming very empty, full of offices, office space, and basically this is the map that points what is the empty area of London, of empty homes in 2016, and it is increasing. So people don't live there, they just go there to work, and then they move around, and it's becoming like a ghost city, and it's scary, can be scary with all this. Okay, I'm going to need my computer because some things in the next slides. Sorry. I'll return in 1 minute. Not such 1 minute, maybe 10 seconds. Okay. We Portuguese have the tendency to overreact with time. That's what I said. Okay, let's see. Sorry about this. So I bring what is some slides related with what was the ancient attitude for urban areas, and the next slide is like, you know this from books, I believe, is Atlantis. So I bring it because I like the concept of the rings, which is something that worked well. Looks like didn't work so well because they were got by a natural catastrophe. But we can understand what is the center of the city and how spreads around and how we use this to build our own cities. I have also a picture for next one. Another famous city, I bring Bible city. This one is Sodoma. Was destroyed because people say it was because of the sins related with sex. Actually, has something to do with it. But basically, it was, as the story tells us, the Bible tells us, it was because the lack of hospitality, like punishment from God was, there was a lack of hospitality because they didn't want to welcome in the best way the strangers that went to Sodom, and so God decided to destroy them. We also have this picture from Middle Ages, like the Dark Plague. What I bring this picture is related with something that normally when something bad happens, we blame everyone else. We don't blame ourselves. We don't blame our own attitude to the places we're living. Actually, with the plague, there was a big revolution and big antipathy to the foreigners, to the ones who they were told to the people that brought the disease, and basically the disease was created by the lack of hygiene and other things related to the water. You don't know this guy. This guy is a really important guy in Portugal. I bring him with me in my luggage because it's inspiring. As Marquês de Pombal, after the big earthquake in Lisbon, we have a big earthquake destroyed Lisbon that time in 1755, and this guy was responsible for rebuilding all the city, and it was also a catch in the moment where the world was living a new era, illuminated era. So he brought a lot of new ideas for rebuilding, connected with the materials, with the urban planning, with the kind of land use. So he had a chance to rebuild the city in a way could be more sustainable than it was until that day, and which bring it to the destruction with the earthquake. And I bring this slide is related with building, of course. It's actually when I talk about building smart cities, is literal. We need to start building, and but there's something I call the clash, which is who's building the smart cities? Who's building the cities? Actually, we don't need to call them smart cities. Actually, cities are cities, and it doesn't matter if you call it smart or stupid. It will be cities. And but are we really building the smart cities? In this case, when we are in a city and watch how the city planning is organized, sometimes we say that's so stupid. Why you do that? And actually, they do it. I don't want to start a clash discussion. I know it's very, very complicated and can be hard to deal with this kind of discussions. But I feel that people call Brasilia, for example, a bad example for smart city, and everything is planned by very, very geometric way. It's not some things don't work. I know we are in the school that teaches architecture, and I believe architecture is not a simple matter to discuss. But I understand it's like I understand that Brasilia, for example, or other cities that have architects in the process, they shouldn't be put in the bad example, featuring them as bad example. It should feature in them as artwork, like is a masterpiece. Doesn't matter if it works or not. Things need to be admired by the work they took to design it, and the work that all the relation with the symbols and everything else. Okay, things don't work, but we can fix it. We still can fix it. That's the work for engineers, for example. No? But actually, when we talk about designing cities, we can be talking about designing and creating art. I believe that architecture is creating a lot of art, and we have a very good examples. And I bring the art to this discussion, to this presentation, because one simple rule I have: I could be a good architect, I could be a good lawyer, I could be a doctor, medicine doctor, I could be an engineer. But everyone could be everything. And actually, I was a musician from some moments in my life. I got to play in the very famous group in Portugal, and that's why I bring music to these slides. Next slides are related with creativeness and art. So we believe that cities need art, need creativeness, need something that brings some soul to the people that are working on a daily basis there, trying to create their own families and things, but actually in the beginning, at the end of the day, what makes us happy? What connects us with that city? What makes us feel part of it? What is natural habitat for us? So I bring Detroit, and Detroit, you have that image. Okay, that image is promotional image. I bring other slides from Detroit, you will see them. But Detroit was founded the Motown movement. So as like all the soul, all the movement from these people that were struggling and building America, and they created their own sound and was become famous all over the world. And the next one is, you know this one? Nashville. I bring Nashville also with this nice, very beautiful smart city picture. We are used to watch this in all smart cities conference. But I bring Nashville with a crossing slides from the capital of country music. So it's like Nashville is connected with a lot of things going on right now with technology in United States. I only bring slides from the United States in this part of my presentation. But actually they still are the natural habitat of country music. That's in their DNA. I bring another one. And this one, Austin. Okay, Austin is such an amazing city with a lot of also smart city engagement right now, sensors, big data, artificial intelligence. Austin is, wow, flourishing for the smart city ecosystem. But once again, Southwest by the big festival there, Austin, that created what it is, the haven for the rock and roll. People start choosing Austin in one time. Why? It's not because they were natural part of this, because it was cheap. Start moving some rock and roll, Queens of the Stone Age, for example, moved to Austin because it was easy to find a place where they can create, doing noise, making noise, a lot of noise, but then having the right budget for them to thrive. And it happened also with most of these creative cities. And I bring in the last one, you know this one. Where is it? Yeah, Seattle. Also amazing city known for Amazon, especially for Amazon, also for Starbucks and also for a lot of other companies. And you may know it also for what is called the ultimate martyr for the grunge music. It started there, the grunge, but Nirvana was one of them, of course, but we still have Pearl Jam, thank God, and they're still doing amazing concerts. So I bring these slides because all these cities are trying to become something, but they already are. They're trying to become smart cities, but they already are. That's why we need to understand what is all about smart cities. Okay, the next one is a slide that is written in some wall around the world. I think it's in Seattle actually, and it says that these are hard times for dreamers. Yes, when you start for dreaming it becomes a hard time because they get a lot of challenges, obstacles, and a lot of work. And if you don't stick to your dream, probably you won't succeed. And that's why resilience is so important in humans, and it has to be so important in construction, for example, and in buildings and so on. So we are in this point. We are hyper-connected. We are not paying attention to what's around us. I mean, we, of course, not we, in this room. And a lot of people like you are paying attention to the details and to the alarms triggering all around the world. And they are thinking about it, they are discussing this, and it's very important. But actually, the majority is like this, hyper-connected, wearing suits and getting a lot of money with business, but also clashing with their own human problems, and they are facing, and they don't know how to solve it. I don't know if they want to solve it. That's one of the things that worry me most. And we have this, there's someone there, I don't know if you can see very well, but he's a beggar, he's a homeless people, but he's like right next to, I don't want to commit any, but I think this is a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, I don't know. I only have a Jaguar, so it's just a cute. I don't have it, I wish. And the next slide is, this kind of creativeness is growing around the world in every city. Actually, this is for pigeons. We are these traps for avoiding pigeons to destroy some buildings. But we are using the same kind of infrastructure, creative and hostile infrastructure for humans. And I'm not sure if you realize that someone invented this. This was not brought by some alien or someone that just, what should I build here now? Oh, I know. I'm going to put the pavement like this because it's beautiful. It doesn't work like that. Some had the idea. We need to solve these homeless people in the streets very fast. And someone created these devices. And I'm not here to judge because we all know how this works. But actually, these devices can be. I want this one. You recognize this lady? You don't recognize her. Who's that girl? Oh yeah, no. I should bring my guitar to take the tone. Yeah, it's Madonna. Madonna moved to Lisbon. Actually, she posted a new video yesterday from Instagram. Everyone is crazy with the Spanish music soundtrack. She put it riding a horse through the beach, and they were saying, "This is paradise." But everyone, well, you should put some Portuguese music, by the way. No, but she put the Spanish song, so it's fine. But Madonna is becoming a symbol of this new age, new era, new people that are moving around the world and choosing the best spots to live and to settle at. And they are being accused of promoting the gentrification. That's why sometimes this can be very useful for the mayors who have a very nice middle-aged lady, not to say an elder lady, but can be complicated to the future of that city. That's why we are in Lisbon right now. She's in Lisbon, but everyone is. There's a lot of cities that have these people, famous people around the world. What we should be aware is why she was not welcome anymore in New York. Because that's the part we are missing. She was clashing with neighborhood, with their own neighbors, for the parties, for the noise, in the Fifth Avenue. So I believe she was not the most important people in that neighborhood, actually. But she found a new haven, and we are welcoming her. Okay. So this is the story right now. graduated people trying to get the money for the right income to pay all their expenses in the end of the month, and it's not becoming possible. Even with 2 or 3 or 4 jobs, which is something that I cannot understand. This guy is prepared to work first month for free, so something that really states this point. And Lisbon, we had a web summit, just to show you what is the clash with all these things we are experiencing right now. We have Web Summit, the biggest technology event in the world. It's coming in November also, but we also have something that last year killed more than 100 people. Big fires, forest fires, and it's hard for Portuguese to understand how can the country that hosts the most innovation and modern conference in the world in this century still has violent forest fires. Climate change, global warming, it's a lot of narrative speech we can start working on, but actually there was more than this. It was related with people don't pay attention to remote areas anymore, don't pay attention to peripheral areas. So I bring this one when represents what it is to have to live, and why children may be happy with very little, but they still happy in their essence, in their humanity. And this one is live to have, which makes the opposite side of our society, is the ones who don't have much, but they're still happy. And these ones are happy in their own way, of course. And once again, it's not a judgmental thing, it's just what it is right now, and we need to live with this. Like this related with the Model S, and it's like the fan side of the society right now. Everyone follows big stars and people from Silicon Valley once again. Like following them as examples. This can be good and bad at the same time. Good because, for example, for sustainability purpose, for the future of our planet, one of the things that may contribute to change mindsets and change behaviors is design, for example, is what it is attractive by the design and what is the fan side of things. We work with iPhone, it works with Tesla, so we just need to start working with that for other kind of purpose in our planet. I bring the good cases. I'm not sure how's the time. It's a lot of time, yes? Well, I will make it shorter because I know it's too much time, and I'll try to connect with the audience if they have some questions. Okay, so this is Vienna. Vienna was named again the most livable city in the world this year, overcome Melbourne in Australia. And Vienna makes me think what is smart nowadays, because Vienna was never featured like the most smart city it became, but people didn't understand very well why. So I bring you the Vienna case to understand, to everyone be aware of why. Because they created a disruptive private housing market. So, and it didn't start now, it started in the 90s. Actually, the project for social housing started in the 90s. It was not a smart city project at all. And they become like an example for other cities, but strangely, other cities didn't follow the example. And they should follow the example at that time. So I bring you this case as an amazing case of how they connect the housing, the mobility, and the energy together in the same planning for the city, and they become livable. So once again, the housing was the touching point, the base of all the policy. In the 90s, they decided that they should create a social housing market, and they brought very, very important architects to work with the new neighborhoods, designed very well, very beautiful. You all know, was the first picture was one of them. So we have like a social housing program started in the 90s. New zonings and projects have been attracting citizens since then, because, for example, in Lisbon, in Portugal, social housing has some stigma attached. And this is a problem more from the politician's side than from the citizen side. Because politicians bring social housing as something we created this for the poor and low-income people, and now we are taking picture with everyone crying because finally they have a house. So this becomes stigma for the other people that need house, and it's like a silent need, and it's getting worse because there will be a time they will start screaming for their need. So 65% in Austria, in Vienna, Austria, lives in social housing, which is impossible to achieve in other cities that manage the social housing as a stigma approach. So new projects include creative ways to promote new politics. For example, if a family applies for these programs, in the file they have the option to choose. If they are not, they will choose, I'm not being a car proprietary, so I'll skip the garage, and they will put it in the other side of the neighborhood without garage, without roads, actually only the basic for the last mile, called the last mile, with the bike lane, and also other kind of public transportation. So there's this kind of livability works well, because with the right housing approach can manage something very, very complicated for cities nowadays. Basically, mobility and energy are the pillars of the financing for smart cities right now in Europe. You know, we have European Union, there's a lot of bids and programs for financing projects in the cities or in the countries. And two pillars are mobility and energy. And most of the smart city projects are based on these pillars. And now there's one for housing, but actually they didn't connect it with the other two. And they should be connected with the other two. There's something that the new program for 2030 is already working on this part, because it's not possible to detach what it is the infrastructure buildings with the mobility and with the energy and the sustainability, of course, of the projects. So we have the mobility part with all the parking problems solved, all the commuting improved with public transportation, bikes, and what is called the clean energy mobility. And we have the energy, of course, already related with mobility, with electrical mobility especially, but also with the construction, with the new materials, circular economy materials. Everything is being built based on a sustainability approach. And that's why Vienna is so nice to put in these slides, because it's very, very, very inspiring for other cities to work with. They just need to solve the issue mindset for the social housing project. Okay, and I think we need a click here. Yes, like this. 1.7 million people are living in social housing in Vienna. Okay, these slides we can move on. They have some, 60%, 65% actually, and 200,000 social housing units. But it has the stigma like many countries around the world have, and they overcome with it in the beginning with attractive neighborhoods designed by famous architectures, and it was important to create the big impact. And this question is, why aren't more doing the same? It looks so easy, but actually since the 90s until now, it takes a lot of effort, a lot of work, a lot of strategy that some cities are not willing to take, because it's too much time to promote a strategy, long-term strategy. Okay, so I bring you the next case. Is a little bit faster. It's the Amsterdam case. And again, the question, what is smart nowadays? Amsterdam is one of my favorite cities, but don't get fooled by this picture, this red light district. Actually, Amsterdam was considered very, very bad example in 10 years ago or whatever. It's like everyone was mentioned, I'm going to Amsterdam, and say, oh, you're going to the red light district. Oh, you're going to the coffee shops. Yeah, basically, I didn't go for that reasons. Definitely didn't. I go because they have such an open and tolerant and passionate way of life, and we still find it very easily. That's why it's so important that we mention Amsterdam in the good cases, not in the bad. Of course, they have bad, like every city. But it's the only city you can see this picture, like a jungle of bikes. Those are bikes, and the bad thing in the back. Let me share with you, when Amsterdam was the first city creating the deputy mayor for night. They have a night mayor, which is someone that only, and why is that? Not because the night is considered funny or is something for the happiness of the people that are going to use the night in Amsterdam. But there are problems in the night that become very, very challenging for the city council. And one of them was related exactly with prostitution. Prostitution is legal in Amsterdam, as you know, and there was thriving since last year's 10 years. It has become overcrowded with tourists just circling around the red light district, and elder people, people getting married, they went there just to watch, just to look, as far as I know, as they say. But it's become problematic for the people who work there, actually, and who work there start complaining for a lot of things. They didn't get the right money, the right income, because they were getting a lot of bad business with all the tourists coming. So he has also the coffee shops, and he has also the drug problem. But Amsterdam is an example how to overcome this with design, with creativeness, and especially being tolerant with other humans. And that's why it's such an open and tolerant society. That's why it started in Amsterdam. Amsterdam is like a refuge for people around the world who feel different, misfits, didn't fit for some reason or other, because they have a piercing, because they have a tattoo, because they were gay, because they were two other things. So Amsterdam became like an alternative, a haven, a safe haven, where people could be everything they wanted in the natural way. And of course, they are the best bikers in the world, they say. I'm not so sure about it, but they have this example of how a car designed city turned to be a bike designed city, and how everything worked so good in the city. They were lucky, they were not lucky. Well, it's something we can discuss further. And they are cool. That's one of the words, because I like to introduce in this speech, because we are speaking about smart, intelligent, and I put this one, cool, and they have a video we can
What
watch.
do you know about Holland? Flowers, windmills, picturesque canals, cheese, wooden shoes, master paintings from the Golden Age. Yes, we have it all. But let me show you what's really cool about Holland. You call it organic and artisanal. We just call it food. You call it boutique, independent, alternative. We call it the 9 Streets. You call it exercise. We call it a way of life. They still drive cars! Dutch! Yep.
By the way, did you notice I'm speaking English? We all do.
Hi! Hello! Hi!
Hello! Welcome to Amsterdam.
Ik niet. Jullie noemen hem Van Gogh. Wij zeggen Van Gogh.
Did someone say Van Gogh? You call it art? We call it the Rijksmuseum.
Dutch!
You call it green energy. We call it tradition. You call it... We call it Amsterdam. Come to Amsterdam in 2013.
You call it the travel day. We call it the first day of vacation. Holland, the original cool.
Visit us at holland.com/cool.
Dutch!
Yeah, I didn't get paid for bringing this video, but I like to bring it because I could bring videos like this from all around the world. But actually, this one is really inspiring for the reason that it's true. It's really true. If you ever have the experience to fly with KLM, for example, you will know that they are different. Or Schiphol Airport is like they are different. I think they have this in a natural way. Okay, there's a lot of theories about it, and some of them goes through the coffee shops. But actually, I think it's because they feel that they are natural. They can do their own. They can do themselves. So Amsterdam is a very, very interesting case to follow, and right now is also dealing with the excess of tourism. It's like challenging all over. Also is dealing with the housing price rocketing up. So these cities are in danger, and we need to understand how can we deal with this so amazing habitats for humans, and they are in jeopardy. Okay. Is the next case, I think there's another one. Where my click now is out of battery. Yeah, okay. So I bring another of my favorite cities, and I have a lot, but I choose these two every time I move around because it's like Detroit was the bad example for all the cities in the world. Was like, why are you going to Detroit? Yes, you ever been in Detroit? Just like this. So basically, we know Detroit from this perspective. A bankrupt city, failed city, very bad, problematic city. But also, we should know it as. And it was a capital of car manufacturing. It still is very important for car technology. And for me, I consider Detroit like the shift from the blue-collar to white-collar economies. Like everything stopped in the meantime when factories started moving around the globe. And Detroit was the first city feeling that part. It was like something was broken there. Actually, all the city was broken because it was bankrupt. It lost 70% of its population, and we start looking in the media, featuring in the media pictures like this: housing being abandoned, tear down, neighborhoods all like empty ghosts. And I have another one like factories. But imagine what, some of these factories were abandoned already for 30 years. And we start featuring these pictures in the media like it's something new. So we have to be careful with the fake news. We didn't talk about fake news at that time, but there are a lot of information that spreads around the internet that we consider right, but is not. Actually, this one is. It's like the houses starting to become occupied and started become attracting some bad behavior. So the city municipality didn't have the resources to deal with it, to deal with the occupiers, with the people that were robbing and looting. And so the decision was the easiest one and cheaper one: tear everything apart, everything down. So a lot of neighborhoods and houses like this were tear down by the city council because it was the cheapest way to deal with the problematic thing. What happened in Detroit in 2014 was amazing, because that's when you see the resilience of the population, the humans. When they were like despair, without hope, and actually in need, they started to creating their own, farming their own food. And because the city council, the city administration didn't have budget to take care of the gardenings and the green space anymore, so they found public space as the perfect space to garden their own food. So it's like after that, in 2016 or 2015, we start seeing this trendy thing about urban farms around the world. I think everywhere start creating these urban farms like a trendy thing to make sure our city has also urban farms. It started with the urgent need for food in Detroit. So everyone started growing their own food, farming their own food, and it became the urban farming process. Right now, you have to understand that there are indoor farms that are still growing in Detroit like a trend. New business actually scaling up. All the empty construction and the empty industrial buildings are being used for indoor farming using aquaponics and other interesting and important for the environmental protection that they are building there. So another slide to show you what is the rising of Detroit. I wrote about it in 2014 when there was the trend was the housing market was starting to be very, very complicated for people in New York, Boston, or San Francisco. So again, like Austin, rock and roll people that moved from Austin because it was cheaper. Again, a lot of creative people that couldn't afford to live in New York anymore, they start buying houses in Detroit. Actually, one of my friends is real estate agent in Detroit. He runs the marketing in one real estate agency. He was really bad at that time, and he's the one who sold a house, traded a house for an iPhone 6. So in that time it was like $18, $800 or something, and that was the last bid for that house, and that's the only thing he can, is a story he tells in the media, of course, and of course it was not this house, but it started flourishing. All these creative people that moved to Detroit, actually they were, when we define artists, when we define creativeness, when we don't need to define it mainstream directly. Actually, there are a lot of creative people that don't go mainstream, don't even are mentioning in the magazine and so on, but they are creating, they are artists also. And they created, one of them created the brand Detroit versus everybody, and this one also, Nothing Stops Detroit. It's like showing that we are here, we are still here, and you can imagine how it is to connect with the people in need in a city that is bankrupt, where the advertisement in the cafes is still open, but they are closed for 2 years, and how the city is thriving, and again, how the city is getting the same problems again that brought them to the bankrupt, with the housing market growing up, prices are increasing, a lot of problems already with gentrification. So Detroit was so bad, but now it's so good that it's shifting for something that could be important. This is something I took from the Smart City Detroit. We are working with them with this, like this is the framework, the workflow for the sensors they have. They have access to immediately to the number of licenses for housing, number of licenses for business, and so on. So it shows you the contrast between what is the city and what is the important things. Yeah, I'm coming to the finish a little bit for the last slides. We'd like to understand how all these bad examples, the good examples, and how things should work in the city from the starting point of the city administration is when we need projects and plans. One of the problems we have right now with the politicians that run our cities is that they don't plan much ahead. They plan too immediately, and this brings a lot of problems for the city. Maybe not immediately, but in the long term. That's why the strategy needs to be worked with all the stakeholders. Needs to be worked with all the people that have interest to work with the city, and not only companies but also citizens, and especially citizens, and the ones who have a word to say and contribution to do to the citizen and project plans. Then we need to be careful with the promotion. Like, for example, if we promote, I give you an example. One of the examples I don't like to give because it's my own city. I live there right now. Is Lisbon. One of the things that Lisbon is promoting is Madonna, for example. So when they promote big cruise ships, the tourism department promotes big cruise ships, promotes very, very amazing attractions in the city. They are attracting more and more and more tourists. And then they are creating problems for the infrastructure side of the city. They are bringing more problems for what it is. How can we deal with this amount of tourists coming? Because the promotion department is working so well, and they have all the credit. But then they have a clash and the problem with the other departments in the city. So we call it silos in the city. That's basically something that we need to start working with the smart cities. They need to have a new structure above all the silos to work well, all the strategy. Because if someone is doing a great job promoting, he's doing a lousy job taking care and managing it. So it's the same city, it's the same administration, it's the same politics, actually. The kind of investment we are attracting right now is related with the real estate investments. Portugal, for example, is becoming very attractive for the real estate. And we discussed this here with the professor, and we are talking about Greece already because it's so cheap. So the investors are shifting from the poor countries, or at least where they can find good investments in the real estate, and they are moving to them, and they are creating a lot of problems for the citizens, because they're the ones who make the rents increase and the prices and everything else. But you need to attract investors, otherwise it's like the cycle doesn't go well to the city also. And another one is closing. Yeah, we are going to close it. The talent, attracting talent is what we call how can we have the right people in the right city. And this can be certain and true for Guadalajara and also for Lisbon and other cities. And we are going to finish with the big data and the big mistakes, something we need to understand that data, we are using data for running our policies, and some administrations are already using artificial intelligence. It's very interesting to see how the big data is contributing for medicine with the IBM Watson and shopping and so on for business. But we need to be aware that data can bring a lot of bad things also, including racial discrimination. We don't need to make the city, all the decisions, important decisions made by a computer, otherwise can be complicated to deal with some problems, some biasing algorithms, and so on. So no solidarity and so on. So the challenge for the mayors right now are being challenged. Becoming smart cities or become smart, sometimes both things are not compatible. So we need to change and choose wisely. And I think we need to skip this part of the smart city events, which I'm participating in a lot. A lot of people selling and bringing miracles all over the stage. And the audience, it's not your case, of course, and I'm not doing that also. But I'm watching these kind of things. The cities, they want to feature what they are not. And sometimes it's better to feature what is bad in the city. That's why you need to feature what is bad. That's why you bring people to solve what is bad. You don't go to the stage featuring everything is amazing, perfect in our city. So you don't attract no one to fix nothing. If it's so amazing, so cities that have problems and have something to challenges to stakeholders, citizens to solve, they could claim their help to solve in a creative way all the problems. And that's why the future, that's why this all communication, all featuring, all this in media, yeah, we can go to the future, more balanced future, of course, swinging future, and happy. And that's why I'm okay and happy to be in this amazing habitat with you all. Thank you so much. Now, if there are questions, also the time is running.
Yo creo que tenemos el tiempo un poco encima. Víctor nos va a impartir un taller, creo que podremos tener el espacio en corto para hacer preguntas directas y poder dialogarlo más en corto con él. Agradecemos a nuestro ponente su presentación el día de hoy y bueno, tenemos un pequeño presente que le vamos a hacer llegar a nuestro presentador. Y bueno, pues muchas gracias. Seguramente tenemos todos muchas preguntas y muchas dudas a partir de esta presentación. Te invitamos a pasar a tu lugar, Víctor. Muchas gracias. Un aplauso, por favor, para nuestro presentador. Y los invitamos a seguir en sus lugares. Vamos a dar inicio a la ceremonia de inauguración de este evento. Por favor, permanezcan ahí. Vamos a hacer el acomodo rápidamente del escenario y en este momento procedemos al evento formal de inauguración del Congreso. Muchas gracias.
Buenos días a la academia, directivos, alumnos e invitados. Sean todos bienvenidos. Acompañándonos en el Presidium tenemos a Diego Rea, representante de alumnos de los posgrados de Sustentabilidad, doctora Mónica Solórzano, coordinadora de la Maestría en Ciudad y Espacio Público Sustentable y la Maestría en Proyectos y Edificación Sustentable, maestro Óscar Castro, jefe del Departamento del Hábitat y Desarrollo Humano, doctora Catalina Morfin, directora general académica, y doctor José Morales Orozco, de la Compañía de Jesús, rector del ITESO.
Para dar comienzo queremos compartir un breve video acerca de este evento.
En el marco de la celebración de los 60 años de ITESO, junto con el Departamento de Hábitat y Desarrollo Urbano y los posgrados en Sustentabilidad, te damos la más cordial bienvenida al segundo Congreso Internacional sobre Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats, con el tema Innovación tecnológica y creatividad social en la construcción de ciudades resilientes, contenidos que serán tratados por conferencistas magistrales de Tailandia, Costa Rica, Chile, España, Portugal y México. En esta segunda edición del Congreso contamos con el apoyo de CONACYT y 3 cátedras UNESCO. Realizamos el primer concurso internacional de vivienda social sustentable en conjunto con Fundación Cuervo. Durante estos 3 días contaremos con participantes provenientes de diferentes ciudades del país, quienes asistirán a las conferencias magistrales, ponencias y talleres del Congreso. Bienvenidos sean todos a este nuestro campus, el cual ha sido considerado como una de las universidades más sustentables del mundo, la tercera entre las universidades públicas y privadas de México.
Agradecemos su presencia el día de hoy para inaugurar este segundo Congreso Internacional sobre Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats, y para ello invitamos al maestro Óscar Castro, director del Departamento de Hábitat y Desarrollo Urbano, para que nos diga unas palabras.
Muy buenos días. Estimados miembros del Presidium, arquitecto Diego Rea, doctora Mónica Solórzano, doctora Catalina Morfin y el doctor José Morales Orozco de la Compañía de Jesús, nuestro rector aquí del ITESO, estimadas amigas, amigos, compañeros, público en general. Como acaban de escuchar y muchos de ustedes ya saben, este ha sido un año de celebración del 60 aniversario de nuestra universidad, y para los académicos y las académicas del Departamento del Hábitat es un gran honor que la comisión organizadora de los eventos del 60 aniversario haya considerado este segundo Congreso de Sustentabilidad como uno de los eventos de celebración de los 60 años. Estoy muy agradecido de que nos hayan permitido formar parte de este conjunto de celebraciones, y les agradezco enormemente al comité el importante apoyo que nos dieron para poder realizar este evento y sobre todo poder poner el tema de la sustentabilidad al centro y al frente dentro de las celebraciones de nuestra universidad. Yo creo que la mayoría de los que estamos aquí podríamos coincidir en que la sustentabilidad es quizás el principal reto de nuestro tiempo. Punto. Sé que a algunos podrá sonarles temeraria esta afirmación, sobre todo si consideramos un país como el nuestro, con un Estado de Derecho tan frágil, con un permanente atropello de derechos humanos, con una desigualdad económica creciente y cada vez más lacerante, con una evidente depredación de los bienes de la naturaleza, ¿no? Sin embargo, la sustentabilidad precisamente lo que busca es ser esta posición ética que nos permita ayudarnos a comprender y transformar nuestra relación con nuestro hábitat, nuestro entorno, nuestra casa común y sus bienes, con otros seres vivos y, por supuesto, con nosotros mismos y nuestro potencial de trascendencia. La sustentabilidad no es nada más esta perspectiva tecnocrática, tecnológica que de pronto, digamos, ha prevalecido en la concepción de la sustentabilidad, ¿no? De la forma como nosotros nos entendemos frente al mundo, frente a otros seres y frente a nuestra trascendencia, pues esta forma como nos entendemos determina, por supuesto, nuestros patrones de consumo, determina nuestro respeto por otras personas y determina también nuestro respeto por la naturaleza, por esta casa común. Entonces, en ese sentido es en que afirmo que el tema de la sustentabilidad pues es el gran reto de nuestro tiempo. Si nosotros logramos avanzar en la, digamos, en la comprensión profunda y compleja que tiene que ver con estos retos, con las acciones que en lo individual y de manera colectiva tenemos que tomar para transformar estas relaciones, de esto dependerá muy probablemente nuestra sobrevivencia como especie. Este segundo Congreso de Sustentabilidad busca, primero, reunir a estudiantes, principalmente de posgrado, también de licenciatura, a profesores de estos niveles y abrirles un espacio para que puedan comunicarnos qué es lo que están haciendo respecto del tema de los distintos fenómenos relacionados con la sustentabilidad. Ese es el principal, diría yo, objetivo de este evento, abrirle un espacio a los jóvenes que están trabajando en estos ámbitos, a través principalmente de los espacios que llamamos de ponencias. Sin embargo, lo que esperamos es que esta difusión de lo que están haciendo no se quede nada más en las ponencias y pasemos a lo que ahora de manera muy elegante llamamos networking, y conozcan de distintos lugares de la República qué es lo que están haciendo unos y otros para que puedan conocerse, contactarse y llevar a cabo este trabajo en común que es fundamental para la sustentabilidad. En segundo lugar, también otro objetivo muy importante del evento es reunir en un solo espacio a algunos de los principales especialistas que han venido trabajando durante años en estas temáticas, con el fin de poderlos escuchar en sus conferencias a través de talleres y poder platicar, lograr esta cercanía que permita avanzar desde distintos frentes los trabajos que cada quien realizamos. Y un tercer objetivo, que me parece también muy relevante, buscamos modelar otras formas de acercarse y difundir el conocimiento. Ya la doctora Mónica Solórzano se refirió a esta app que busca ser uno de los mediadores del Congreso para no tener que imprimir ni folletos, ni carteles, ni programas, ni nada de eso. Este software que busca contribuir a los esfuerzos del campus sustentable y a través del cual estamos midiendo la huella de carbono de un evento como este. Es una innovación tecnológica que buscamos aportar a la universidad y a los distintos eventos que hacemos y por lo cual insistimos que nos ayuden a utilizarla. Y finalmente, la herramienta del concurso de vivienda social sustentable que nos ha permitido crear este espacio para reunir algunos de los trabajos en los que han trabajado distintos equipos a nivel nacional e internacional sobre esta problemática lacerante de la necesidad de resolver la vivienda, sobre todo para familias que no cuentan con los recursos para hacerlo y que en nuestro país son cada vez más, ¿no? No es casual, tiene además cierta jiribilla, las temáticas, las dos principales temáticas que se eligieron para el Congreso, la innovación tecnológica, la creatividad social en la construcción de ciudades resilientes. Yo lo relacionaría un poco con esta frase de Aristóteles que decía que la polis debía de satisfacer las necesidades de las personas, pero sobre todo su finalidad última era generar bienestar. Y en este sentido, un poco lo que queremos poner en debate, en diálogo, es esta noción de que la tecnología per se no nos va a llevar muy lejos, pero sí necesitamos del compromiso y la creatividad, tanto individual como colectiva, como base del cambio y, por supuesto, como diría yo, fundamento de la esperanza que conlleva la noción de sustentabilidad. Quiero aprovechar también para agradecer al equipo que hace posible un evento como este, entre ellos principalmente los académicos, encabezados por la doctora Mónica Solórzano, la doctora Mara Cortés. Quiero hacer una especial mención de la doctora Ana Olivera, que participó enormemente en esta organización, está enferma y no puede estar presente, y por lo tanto nos está viendo vía el streaming. Entonces, un saludo y un agradecimiento a ella. Por supuesto, también un agradecimiento al doctor Alejandro Mendo, al doctor Rodrigo Flores, al doctor David Vargas, quienes han formado el comité científico. El evento tampoco sería posible sin el apoyo tan comprometido de nuestros estudiantes de posgrado que han estado apoyando decididamente el evento y otras áreas de la universidad como quienes atienden aquí el auditorio, servicios generales, comunicación institucional, la Dirección de Relaciones Externas, por supuesto la Dirección General Académica, quienes sin ellos no podría ser posible el evento. Quiero agradecer finalmente a quienes nos han apoyado con recursos diversos para la realización del evento, al Consejo Nacional de Ciencia y Tecnología, a las diversas cátedras UNESCO que han creído en el proyecto y nos están apoyando, a la Fundación Cuervo, quien fue socia nuestra en la convocatoria del concurso, y por supuesto a todas y a todos ustedes que son nuestra apuesta para que la sustentabilidad sea posible. Bienvenidas, bienvenidos, que tengan unos extraordinarios 3 días de talleres, conferencias y ponencias. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias al maestro Óscar Castro por estas palabras acordes a nuestro segundo Congreso de Sustentabilidad. A continuación, aprovechamos para agradecer al padre Rector su presencia el día de hoy para compartirnos unas palabras y para inaugurar nuestro Congreso. Le dejamos la palabra.
Cuando vi que la Fundación Cuervo era uno de nuestros patrocinadores o que nos ayudaron a organizar el evento, pues yo pensé, Óscar, que lo que estaba en esos vasitos iba a ser tequila, pero pues no, nos fallaste, hombre. Bien, antes de leerles las palabras que tenía preparadas, nomás quería decirles que, como saben, el ITESO es, como dice en el puente peatonal, Universidad Jesuita de Guadalajara. Es una universidad confiada a la Compañía de Jesús. La Compañía de Jesús definió su misión apostólica el año de 1975 como el servicio de la fe y la promoción de la justicia que la misma fe exige como parte de la reconciliación entre Dios y los hombres. Después, la Congregación 34, en 1900, 95, después de muchos años de experiencia, define la misión de la compañía en términos de reconciliación, como lo ha confirmado también la última Congregación General de la compañía. La misión de la Compañía de Jesús es servicio a la fe, promoción de la justicia, pero la justicia entendida y la fe entendida como una triple reconciliación con Dios, entre nosotros los hombres y con la naturaleza. La misión de la compañía, y por lo mismo el ITESO como una universidad jesuita, no puede entender el compromiso social sin el compromiso por la naturaleza o la reconciliación entre los hombres separada e independiente de la reconciliación con la naturaleza. Por eso el Papa en su encíclica Laudato Si dice que pues el problema ecológico no es solo ecológico, es un problema ecológico y social. Bien. Dicho esto, también me quiero unir al agradecimiento ya expresado por Óscar a todos los organizadores de este importante evento, Segundo Congreso Internacional de Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats. Los dos primeros capítulos del Génesis narran poética, pero no científicamente, sino simbólicamente, cómo Dios puso al ser humano en el jardín del mundo para que lo cultivara y lo cuidara. Esta es la idea que el Papa Francisco incorpora en su encíclica Laudato Si, para invitarnos a proteger el medio ambiente en todas las escalas, desde la local hasta la global, en lo que él denominó nuestra casa común. Esta invitación va mucho más allá de lo pragmático y estratégico del cuidado del ambiente y contiene una dimensión profunda del sentido de vivir en armonía con nuestros semejantes y con la naturaleza. Por otro lado, desde que comenzaron los estudios sobre diversos problemas ambientales, originalmente centrados en lo ecológico-biológico, muy pronto nos dimos cuenta de que la problemática ambiental es también problemática social y de índole multidisciplinaria, por lo que es estudiable y atendible, o debe serlo, desde muy diversos ámbitos de la actividad profesional. El ITESO es una muestra, o pretende más bien ser una muestra palpable de un jardín bien cultivado y cuidado por manos dedicadas desde hace 60 años. La Universidad Jesuita de Guadalajara es ahora un vergel que no solamente cuenta con espléndidos árboles y espacios con diversa flora y fauna, particularmente aves, sino, más importante todavía, es un huerto fértil donde florecen ideas, proyectos y personas. Este segundo Congreso Internacional sobre Sustentabilidad en los Hábitats es uno de esos frutos. Organizado desde el año 2016 por el Departamento del Hábitat y Desarrollo Humano y con el apoyo de diversas áreas de la universidad, reviste una importancia particular. Aspiramos a que sea una actividad académica que no solamente informe acerca de ideas y propuestas en favor del hábitat y de las personas en armonía con él, sino también que todos los universitarios deberíamos asimilar y pretendemos impulsar en nosotros el ámbito de hábitos que permitan, aunque sea gradualmente, pasar de las palabras a los hechos. Porque como decimos en México, obras son amores y no buenas razones, ¿no? Hay que mencionar que esta modificación de conductas ha llevado a nuestra comunidad universitaria a lograr el 4º lugar nacional como campus sustentable y la primera entre las universidades de Jalisco, de acuerdo con el ranking mundial Green Metrics que realiza Indonesia University. El compromiso ambiental de estudiantes, profesores, prestadores de servicios y funcionarios del ITESO han logrado diversos cambios que alguna vez parecieron imposibles y a la fecha continúa introduciendo mejoras, como por ejemplo los nuevos cubiertos desechables fabricados con hueso de aguacate que sustituyen a los popotes y cubiertos de plástico que se consumían en las cafeterías. Por supuesto, ahora el consumo de aguacate ha aumentado. Igual que en 2016, en esta ocasión contamos con la presencia de prestigiados conferencistas, ponentes y talleristas que harán de este segundo congreso una experiencia significativa. Para esta edición se ha orientado el tema general hacia la innovación tecnológica y la creatividad social en la construcción de ciudades resilientes, cuestión que nos permitirá acrecentar nuestra conciencia ambiental acerca de la relación entre fenómenos naturales y entornos vitales y, sobre todo, profundizar en la responsabilidad ecológica que conlleva la formación técnico-científica de nuestros alumnos. Con la expresión que inspiró nuestra celebración del año jubilar que estamos por concluir, 60 años de esperanza, los invito a que aprovechen las diversas actividades de este segundo congreso para enriquecer sus conocimientos y habilidades y también para enriquecer sus valores socioambientales y con ello potenciar el sentido comunitario que requiere la construcción sustentable de barrios, distritos y ciudades. Deseo que su estancia en el ITESO estos 3 días sea para todos ustedes muy agradable y que todos se sientan no solo estar en un jardín, sino estar en su casa. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias al padre rector por esas palabras.
Muchas gracias a nuestro presidium el día de hoy. Los invitamos a un breve receso de 10 minutos para posteriormente regresar a sus lugares y dar comienzo a las actividades programadas a lo largo del día.
Muchas gracias. En la plaza tendremos el servicio de coffee break. Les recordamos la aplicación que pueden bajar para inscribirse a los diversos talleres y actividades a lo largo del Congreso, así como en su kit de bienvenida se les entregó un pequeño termo en el que degustaremos el agua para no utilizar vasos.